Welcome, everybody, to Generation Viewpoint. My name is Evan, and this is Freedom.
Hey, everybody. Good to see you again. Yep. Here we go, Ev. Another podcast.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Man, this is so much fun. I got to tell you. I don't know why we didn't start this a lot longer ago.
Because,
A lot
well, we
longer
started it. We got kicked in the butt by ideas of things we wanted to do, and we joined, a group that were doing things.
Right.
And then right after we got those ideas, and we came out with this.
Yes.
So we came out with it right away.
Yes.
Once we
joined a mastery group.
Yeah,
right?
once we kind of started with stuff.
Yeah.
So this is kind of the first thing we did.
Yeah. You know, that's a great point. So for everybody out there, Mastery Group that we're mentioning right now is a group when you take people who are working on projects, maybe outside of their normal thing, and you kind of get together once a month or however you want to do it and kind of share information because maybe there's something that somebody else has just learned that would be helpful for you in what you're just learning. And it's really about a group of people who are learning more and doing something. So I think it's cool that you brought that up. Would you recommend something like that for everybody?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
What do you think the biggest benefits of being part of some sort of a mastery type group is?
The biggest thing that I have seen that has helped us, at least me,
right,
was that being in that group, you don't need to figure out everything yourself.
Right.
So other people in the group have gone and done things, found out if things worked or not, and then if they worked, gave the resources to us.
Yes.
To let us know about it,
right,
so that we can use it if we need it.
They've already, one of the words is vetted. They've already vetted it, which means they've already gone through the process and determined whether it works or it doesn't work, and if there's something better or not better, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was also helpful for me, and I think for you too, just to see other people being creative in their thought processes and learning new things. Right, that are interesting, not like sitting in school learning stuff because you have to.
Yeah.
This is more optional, right? That's kind of fun to see that all different people learning new stuff. You know? So,
yeah.
Awesome.
So I have a dilemma.
Okay.
I've never said this to anyone, but I am a 21 Pilots fanboy.
Okay. Good. I understand.
I don't want to be known as the guy that loves 21 Pilots.
Okay. But you like them.
I love 21 Pilots.
Okay.
That is the only thing I listen to in my car.
Okay.
But no one knows because no one rides in my car, so it's my little secret.
Okay, good.
And I don't want to be known as that because the few people that I know who have openly been like, oh, I'm obsessed with 21 Pilots, I have found a little annoying.
Okay.
Because all they talk about is 21 Pilots, and all they do is they wear 21 Pilots merch and stuff like that.
Okay, got it. Yep.
And I am subscribed to the 21 Pilots email because it sends me updates on new music videos that they come out with, or if they release a new album or something.
Okay, good.
Because I love to be updated on that stuff. And I got an email that said, buy our new merch.
Okay.
And I never pay attention to those because I just don't buy merch because I don't want to be known as that person that buys merch to support, not necessarily support, but you know what I mean.
Sure.
And
for people who don't know what merch is, you're talking about T-shirts, hats,
yes,
all that stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, got it.
And there was a little GIF on the email that was going through all the new merch, and it caught my eye.
Yeah.
And I looked at them, and this T-shirt popped up.
Yeah.
That I think it is the coolest T-shirt in the world. It's just like a gray T-shirt with white 21 Pilots stuff, and it has the blurry face design on it.
Okay, good.
And I love it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. You don't have the money.
well, I don't have the money necessarily. But if I were to get the money,
Yeah.
I don't know if I would want to buy it.
Okay. This is the dilemma.
This is my problem.
Okay. And why wouldn't you want to buy it?
Because I don't want to be known as that person that is all up in your face, 21 Pilots, listen to them, it's the best band ever.
Yes.
And I don't want to be like that.
Uh-huh.
So if I wear that shirt, then other people are going to, I think they're going to think that that's what and I don't want to be known as that.
Right. Well, Ev, so I'm going to give you an example in my life for something like that. Okay. Right. So I have a problem with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Who doesn't?
Okay. My problem stems from years past of bumping into a couple people who were Eagles fans.
Yeah.
And they were just loud and big mouth like the 21 Pilot fans that you're referring to.
Yeah.
Right? So I guess the question was, or not the question, but where I'm going with that is, in that example, it's the people that were wearing the shirt that I have the problem with, not with the Eagles jersey itself. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the people that you have an issue with are because they're loud and obstinate. So if you were to wear a 21 Pilot shirt and be kind and not obstinate in people's faces, why would they feel that way towards you?
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're just being you, wearing a shirt that you like, right? And people will be like, hey, you got a 21 Pilots shirt. And that's the difference, I think, is when one of those other people you're referring to says, hey, I got a 21 Pilots shirt, or you say, I like that shirt. They're like, yeah, it's my favorite shirt and my favorite band. This is the facts. I know this guy's name. I know this. And they're like, whoa, you're like, hey, hang on. I just said I like this shirt.
Yeah.
Not that I needed a full bio on the 21 Pilots.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't see the dilemma here. If you like the band, you like the band. Just because I would wear a Neil Young fan shirt, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that I'm like, I don't know. Neil Young has some pretty cool followers, but there's some out there. Let's use a different one. Let's use Grateful Dead. Let's say I wore a Grateful Dead shirt, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean that I'm a Deadhead, right?
Yeah.
Following the band all over the country. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So you let that for other people to determine. I don't know. I'd get the shirt if you like it.
Okay.
You know?
Once I get the money.
Well, first you got to do that.
Yeah.
You know how you get the money?
Oh.
If we somehow convince all of our viewers to go on our site and click on some ads.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
I'm just teasing everybody. You don't have to.
Well, I mean, if you want to.
If you want
you
to,
can.
Feel free to click on any of those Amazon links and buy whatever you need for the house, because they pay us for that.
Yeah.
Which I think is truly amazing.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So, but awesome. Well, I learned something new this week, Ev. I want to share it with you. And I don't know if you're going to care about this, but I found it interesting.
Okay.
All right. So as everybody, but most people might not know, but during the day, I'm a produce broker. I work in produce, and I talk to farmers all over the country and buy and sell and ship it across the country. And I was talking to a farm down in Florida today that grows watermelons. And he told me that they were out looking for bumblebees.
What?
Yeah. Okay. So now listen to this. So bees, you need bees to pollinate the stuff that you're growing, right? Because they go flower to flower, flower. All right. So right now, though, because of the storms that have been different in the country, there's been a lot of high winds down in Florida. So the traditional bees that they use, right, which I guess would be a honeybee, maybe I didn't ask that, are small, and so when it's windy, they don't fly well. So they'll stay in their hive. Okay? Mm-hmm. So right now, all of the vines are ready to go, and the flowers are starting to open on the vines.
Yeah.
And if they don't get pollinated, you don't get a watermelon. It'll just grow a vine all summer long. You'll never get a fruit. So they're looking for bumblebees because the bumblebee is fatter and heavier, and it can fly in higher winds, thereby pollinating the watermelon fields.
I see a problem in this, though.
What's the problem?
The problem is, well, if you look back on history, people have brought in different species to their area to either help them or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's nothing to counteract them, so they grow really big, and then they take everything, and then they kill off the native species of the area.
So wait a minute. Are you saying that the bumblebee is going to come to Florida? Nothing is going to kill off the bumblebees, so they're going to breed to be 5-pound bumblebees the size of footballs that start carrying away our small pets.
That is not what I'm saying at all.
I'm just wondering.
But I'm just saying, like, I feel like they might take the place of the native bees.
Oh.
They're the smaller bees.
Yeah.
And then you're going to lose that species of bees because bumblebees are superior and can survive in...
And I don't know how they managed that. The same guy I was talking to was fascinating. He said one year he went out walking a field when he was, younger, and came back and they said, "Are the watermelons ready to harvest?" And he said, "There's no watermelons out there." The guy's like, "What are you talking about? The bees went out, everything went out." Well, what had happened was they saw a couple of flowers pop open. Mm-hmm. They released the bees to go pollinate the field, but not enough of them were open, and there was more open on a field down the road. And all the bees flew down to the neighbor's farm and pollinated their field, and because there's more flowers down there. Isn't that amazing? Like, how do you, hey, bees, go back to our field, bees, go back there.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? So not only do you have to be a farmer and understand dirt and water, but you have to understand the honeybee too.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, hey, yeah, I have a question for you.
Okay.
What traffic sign best describes your life right now?
The traffic sign that has like a line that goes straight up, but then has 50,000 other ones shooting out. Looks more like a tree. That's the traffic sign for me.
That's the one for you?
That's the one for me.
I didn't know if it'd be like the slippery when wet sign
Oh, no.
or, ducks crossing.
No.
Or whatever it is.
No.
So it's the one that's going all over the place.
It's the one that you look at and you scratch your head like, what the heck? What the heck's going on here?
Yeah. You know what's amazing is mine would probably look like that as well right now.
Yeah.
Just because you and we are on like this creative spurt of trying so many things. It's a little different for both of us because you're coming out of high school and trying to figure out what you're going to do and stuff. You know? So there's a little bit more pressure on you where I'm doing it because I want to learn more and try more things,
Yeah.
But interesting. That's cool. So I read an article and I wanted to share this with you. Okay, just a quick little blurb. I want to read it to everybody, and I want to share this. It has to do with success. Okay, so and when you're making decisions and deciding what to do, and for everybody who's listening or watching right now, I just want you to think about what you do for a living, if you're interested in this, and I want you to relate it to this short little paragraph. Okay, you ready, Ev?
Yep.
Okay. This gentleman had said that success comes to many people, even without school, like who just go out and get busy.
Yeah.
And this is what he says. He says this: success comes from know-how. So my advice to young people is to learn something new about the business that they're in or want to be in every day and ask questions. That's very simple, right?
Yeah.
He says, why are things being done the way they are? How much do they cost? What results have been achieved? How will the products be marketed and sold? And once they're sold, how is profit realized? So if you look at anything that you're interested in or anything that anybody here does for a living, why are things being done the way they are? And what did it cost to produce it or to service it if you're in the service business? How do those things get marketed? And when you're done with all that, is there a profit made, right? Mm-hmm. If you can constantly be training your mind to be looking at things that way, you're constantly going to be learning, right?
Yeah.
And that's when you start to understand the business of what it is that you want to get into, where success lies. Because not everybody wants to think about that. And there's nothing wrong with that either.
Yeah.
A lot of people will like to have the luxury of being able to go and work very hard and working very diligently and doing the best that they can, but just do that. And then at the end of the day, they just want to be able to go and do other stuff. And that's perfect.
Yeah.
But there are people who are entrepreneurial, which we've talked about before, right?
Yeah.
So understanding and taking the time to learn something every single day is really what you want to spend your thinking power about.
Yeah. And I found this interesting because as you read it, I realized that is me. Mm-hmm. Like because whenever I get a new job or something, like my newest job is at a yogurt place.
Right.
And while I'm working there, I'll ask how to make something, and then I'll ask why I have to do it that way.
Right.
And the people that are training me sometimes get a little irritated because I'm asking so many questions.
They don't really care.
They don't, but they know it.
Yeah.
But they're like, you don't need to know that. But I'm like, I want to know it so that when you're not here, I know what I'm doing.
Yep.
And so I like to know what I'm doing overall. And I took the same. It's off topic, but I took the same approach to learning a Rubik's Cube.
Okay.
It took 6 hours for me to learn a Rubik's Cube because the person that was teaching me said, oh, just do this. And I said, right, why am I doing this?
Right.
Because you just do it. No, but like, why am I doing that? Yes. Like right then, why can't I do it before?
Yep.
Well, it's just the time to do it. I'm like, right. Like.
Yep. You're heading down the right path. I heard somebody a long time ago, a friend of mine who was a mentor at one time in my life. He said, the people who know why are the ones who achieve dreams. The people who know how are the ones who work for them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because if you just know how to do it and that's it, that means that's what you want to do. You just want to do your job, right? And do it great. But the whys are the ones who are thinking outside of there. Why are we doing this? What need are we filling? How are we affecting people? Things like that. So the why is the big question. That's awesome. I love it to hear you thinking that way. So, but very cool. Well, I have one last thing to bring us to the end. All right. And I promise I'm going to run out of these someday. And everybody knows by now what's coming.
Oh, boy.
What's coming, Evan?
Andy Rooney.
Andy Rooney. We love you, Andy Rooney. So anyways, Andy Rooney says, I have learned that the less time I have to work with, the more things I get done.
Yep.
Yeah. Isn't it true?
I just demonstrated that with my school because I'm all done with school.
Yep.
But I had to do it
Yep.
in a short amount of period and all this work, and I sat down and cracked on it.
So the challenge for us is that even when we don't have shortage of time, is to still live life, appreciate life, like as if we didn't have.
Yeah, and it's difficult because you don't know the deadline.
Right.
And when you know the deadline, that's when you
It's different.
freak out.
Totally true. Totally true. So awesome. Well, we can end with that one, Evan. Another great episode. And as always, I love sitting down here with you, sharing with everybody. And thanks, everybody, for joining us. We love having you here with us. Be sure you're stopping by the Facebook group. Give us some input and see what's going on there. And feel free to go to the website and poke around on there. We've got lots of stuff in there and show notes and things like that for you, too. So once again, we're great spending some time with you. So see you later.
See ya. Remember, we're on iTunes and Stitcher, and as always, thanks for being awesome.